TGG versus TYLARIOUS. Not the first thing I thought I'd see when waking up this morning, but as I woke up and checked Twitter, I saw these two GTA content creators have had a little bit of a back and forth, and I thought I'd just quickly make this video to go over the entire situation so you're all caught up, but also as an in defense of TGG video, because after going over the entire situation, it's quite clear that TYLARIOUS is 100% in the wrong. From mindlessly calling out TGG, being rude to his own fans, and accusations of sub-botting, it's quite clear he's in the wrong in this situation, but you'll see it all in a second. But before we do get into the video, I just want to make two things clear. Number one, I know this video doesn't really need to exist. It's kind of a content drought here in the GTA Online space until the new update comes out or we get some more GTA 6 news. But as well as a GTA creator, I'm also trying to be a commentary one, so this kind of combines the two. So essentially, it's right up my alley in terms of content. But number two, and more importantly, I'm not mindlessly biased in this situation. I've watched both of these creators and seen them grow for as long as I can remember, and I'm pretty sure I started watching TYLARIOUS long before I started watching TGG, but I'm gonna say he is in the wrong. But yeah, let's go over the entire situation. So I woke up this morning, checked Twitter, and the very first thing I see is this tweet from TGG responding to TYLARIOUS, and he essentially responds to everything TYLARIOUS has done, and he responds to it pretty well, like he sums it all up. But let's rewind to the start of this entire situation. So what happened is TGG dropped a video on the trailer to Moon Theory, and if you've watched the video, it's quite clearly a parody. Like, this video is a joke.
Can we zoom in on that? It makes a VI. So again, they're teasing GTA 6. I'm not done.
Making fun of the grifters over on Twitter and YouTube that are actually trying to pass this off as a fact and just basically taking the piss out of them, showing how far they're reaching. And if you've watched the video, it's evidently clear. I mean, TGG wouldn't make a video like that seriously anyway, because it goes against everything his content's known for. But he makes the video. It's a funny video. Everyone can see it's a joke because it is. But apparently not TYLARIOUS. What seems to have happened is that TYLARIOUS is seeing TGG's whiteboard video about Trailer 2 and the Moon Theory and kind of believed it as fact, or not watched the entire video to see it's quite clearly a joke. While this is a satirical and a bit of fun video, this genius TYLARIOUS has seemed to believe it's actually what he believes. Like, he thinks it's a serious video, and has essentially gone on to call TGG a clickbaiter and an engagement farmer and this con man. Now, whether TYLARIOUS was just trying to rile up something with TGG to make a whole scene so he can get a little bit of exposure, or whether he actually believed the video or just, you know, briefly saw it and jumped to conclusions, I'm not entirely sure. You know, we don't know. But after calling TGG a clickbaiter and an engagement farmer and all that stuff, they basically settled it in DMs. And 10 out of 10 times, this is the absolute best way to deal with stuff. Like, if you have a problem that can be sorted in DMs, sort it in DMs. That's the most professional way to go about it. Most of the time, as soon as you take it to public, it's no longer about actually trying to sort out a situation. It's just trying to cause a bit of drama. So it's very mature for this to be sorted and squash the beef in DMs. However, not long after this, TYLARIOUS responded to a comment once again calling TGG out for being an engagement baiter and clickbait and all that, completely going back on himself after they had squashed the beef. And as you'll see later in the video, he accuses TGG of this, even though, as we're seeing, TYLARIOUS did this first, but he's gone completely back on himself. Any sort of agreement they've come to, any sort of beef they've squashed, he's just gone back on. So at this point, TYLARIOUS has really lost any sort of leg to stand on. Not that there was one in the first place. Like, he's getting pressed over what is quite clearly a joke video. And in this same thread of replies, TYLARIOUS would respond to TGG saying that TGG's just saying the video's a joke to get out of any sort of accountability, like just as an excuse. Not that TGG needs to be excused for anything, because the video quite literally is a joke. In response to this, a really good GTA YouTuber called Itsura would reply with an absolute banger of a tweet in defense of TGG, where he shows proof that TGG is quite clearly joking. And the theme you'll quickly notice throughout this entire situation is that TYLARIOUS doesn't actually bring any sort of evidence to back up any of his claims. Just something to keep in mind. So Itsura comes in with this tweet showing proof that TGG is quite clearly being satirical, and naturally, as you'd expect, TYLARIOUS doesn't reply, because once again, he doesn't have any proof to back up what he's saying, whereas Itsura has shown proof that TGG is quite clearly joking and the whiteboard video is a joke. Like, this whole situation has started because a joke video has been taken seriously, and that's angered TYLARIOUS somehow. It's not an issue with TGG and his video, it's an issue with you taking the video seriously. Now again, somewhere within this same thread of replies, TYLARIOUS mentions how speculation is okay and healthy for the community, and I do agree, as long as it's done in the right manner. Like he says, it needs to be straightforward, and I do agree, because if you are talking about a situation that is just rumors and speculation, you need to make that clear, because then if someone doesn't interpret it as you quite clearly saying it's a rumor and a speculation and they pass it off as fact, that's an issue with them. Even I get this. More recently, so I made a video going over how Trailer 2 could potentially be announced on December 3rd, and one of the very first things I say in the video is that it is just rumors and speculation. But of course, I want to stress that this is not not official. This is just rumors and speculation. But I still had people comment, oh, this is cap. Oh, what's your source? Like, I'm not passing this off as facts. I'm not lying about anything. Like, I've quite clearly said this is just a rumor. So that no longer becomes an issue with me, but then becomes an issue with the viewer for interpreting it as a different way. And as with this TGG video, he's quite clearly passed it off as a joke, and you've interpreted it as not a joke, and now that's why you're calling him an engagement baiter, a clickbaiter, and all this other shit. A con man. That's not TGG's fault. He's made it quite clear that he is joking. You've taken it as serious. That's an issue with you, not him. But then TYLARIOUS goes on to say, we're seeing the creation... fuck me. We're seeing the creation of a new Mr. Boss. Like, what the fuck? He makes one joke video that's quite clearly... Yeah, no, I'm not explaining it. I can't be arsed. Everyone knows Mr. Boss is a clickbaiting piece of shit who passes off rumors as facts to clickbait children. Like, that's nothing new. But that's not at all what TGG is doing. Like, you have taken the video seriously. It's quite clearly a joke video you have taken seriously. And now you're calling him an engagement baiter, and you're mad at him because you've taken a joke video seriously. He's grown his channel off of making factual content. Like, he's so trusted because of that reason. He's not going to suddenly switch up one day and start clickbaiting, because that would just be a fucking disaster for his channel. He's made a joke video, you've taken it as fact, and now you're mad at him. That's not an issue with him. That's not him becoming Mr. Boss. That's an issue with you missing the joke. A joke that everyone else could see apart from you. And again, it goes back to, has he actually missed the joke, or is he just trying to start a situation and he knows full well TGG was joking? So TYLARIOUS made this comment, you know, going after TGG, even though they squashed the beef. So naturally, TGG calls him a snake because, I mean, he is being one. If you can sort it in private, which, you know, apparently you did, and then you brought it to the public anyway, you are being a snake. We'll get back to why this is ironic in a moment, by the way. Because in this same thread, we then see TYLARIOUS being extremely rude to a long-time viewer of his. Essentially, someone saw the situation and said how TYLARIOUS at one point tried to discredit their achievement of getting #1 on the LS Car Meet leaderboards. And this is because he was going AFK at times where he wasn't playing to, you know, still be able to grind it. And then TYLARIOUS saw this tweet and then just went on to discredit him again. And as you can see by his tweets, he's just been unnecessarily rude. That's not how you speak to a long-time viewer of yours. Like, you just come across like an absolute dickhead. Completely discrediting what must have been days upon weeks of completely grinding because he did a little bit of AFK when he wasn't playing. Completely unnecessary and pointless to get mad over this, TYLARIOUS. And again, with his tweets, they just read like they're from a salty man-child. Like, are you actually getting mad over someone not being kicked for being AFK? Like, what are we doing? No one got mad at the professional when he used the AFK thing so his businesses could produce supplies while he went to bed. No one got mad then. Why is it an issue now? Like, if this guy's entire grinding was just the AFK thing, fair enough, I can understand it. But when most of his grinding is actual legit grinding and he's just doing a little bit of AFK to help him when he's not playing, I don't see the issue. Like, I don't think anyone does. But yeah, to sum it up, essentially, this guy was a fan of Ty, wanted to share his achievement with Ty, and then Ty just completely discredited it and used it to try bash him down. As the guy said, very much a don't meet your heroes moment. Ty, let's get it clear, you are an absolute arsehole for that. A big fan of yours and a long-time viewer has come up to you to share their achievement with you because, I don't know, they want validation, they just want to share it with you because they see you as some sort of idol. And the very first thing you do is try to invalidate it, bash them down, discredit them for absolutely no fucking reason at all. You're an absolute mug for that, and if that's how you treat your followers, then you don't deserve them. And I mean, as we'll get into, it looks like a lot of them will be botted anyway. But as TGG will reply to this, that's not how you treat your fans. Like, that is disgusting. You have a following, and as someone with a following, it's your job to set a good example and not to bash down your fans. Like, even if you don't agree with this tiny little thing that they went AFK, you don't need to respond like that. Because you act like this, it comes across as you just being extremely salty. But then TYLARIOUS once again responded to TGG, just saying he's a con man and a clickbaiter, and that TYLARIOUS is living rent-free in his head. And then I think that's the tweet that Itsura responded to, showing that TGG is just quite clearly joking. So at this point, TYLARIOUS once again makes another tweet saying how TGG has been called out for engagement farming, which they have no proof to back. Ty says the beef was squashed until TGG made pot shots in replies, you know, having a go at TYLARIOUS, even though ironically enough, as we've seen, it was TYLARIOUS that did that, saying that TGG blocked him because he's soft, which I can only assume he blocked Ty because he can't be asked to deal with his shit, and I don't blame him. Ty has no actual evidence to back up any of his claims, and he started all of this because he took a parody video seriously over a fucking moon theory video. So I don't blame TGG for not wanting to entertain it anymore. But then TYLARIOUS says how he actually started all of this because he was just joking with TGG, and that TGG is just mad because he has no sense of humor. Ironically enough, trying to cover his actions as just a joke, something he accused TGG of doing earlier, just shows the level that TYLARIOUS is at in this. But then after this is when TGG would make that tweet that I saw the first thing in the morning, summing up essentially everything Ty said, which we've already got over. But then TGG also calls him out for allegedly botting his subscribers subscribers, and I mean, this isn't too hard to believe. Tylarious has got over 400,000 subscribers and yet struggles to get even 10k per video. And TGG shows this graph of when he just suddenly, you know, jumped up in subscribers, which looks to be subbotting, and then shows TGG's organic growth over time. And this is as a response to Tylarious saying that TGG apparently went from 0 to thousands of subs overnight, and once again, he has no proof of this. So yeah, that's why TGG showed his organic growth versus Tylarious's what looks to be subbotting. And as I believe it was Itsura that said, subbotting's only going to harm his channel more, because subbots aren't going to click on your videos when they're pushed out to subscribers. And then finally, Tylarious accuses TGG of stealing his video format when it comes to the weekly update videos. Are you seriously trying to take ownership over weekly update videos? Do you know how long they've been around? Do you know how many people do them? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if 100 of them are put out each week. You did not invent weekly update videos, and when people are making the same video on the same thing, naturally they're going to be similar. Difference is, obviously, TGG has done it better, as that's why his videos have taken off, and you are now resorting to subbotting, struggling to even get 10k views per video. But yeah, that is where we're at for now. Maybe this develops into something else. Maybe there's more tweets. Maybe there's no more tweets. I have no idea. We can just wait and see. To summarize it though, Tylarious has taken TGG's video as serious and is now mad at TGG, calling him a clickbaiter and an engagement farmer. Whether he actually did genuinely see this video as serious, or he knows full well that it's just a joke and he's doing it to create a situation, you know, we don't know. But through Ty's response to this and the way he's acted and the way he's spoken in his tweets, especially towards his own fans, you know, it shows what type of person he actually is. So it's no surprise his channel's dying and he's resorted to botting subs. Interested to see where this situation goes though. What is your thoughts on it? Comment down below. And of course, if you did like the video, please drop a like, as it massively helps support the channel. That being said though, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.